Hi, everyone. Judge Andrew Napolitano here for Judging Freedom. Today is Wednesday, August 6th, 2025. Phil Giraldi joins us now. Phil, a pleasure, my dear friend. I titled our conversation as Trump Heartless because of some of the things you mentioned in a recent article that you wrote. Did FEMA, this is hard to believe, but I have to ask you this, the Federal Emergency Management Administration announced that it would not come to the rescue of human beings caught in dastardly conditions like from hurricanes and tornadoes if they lived in states that refused to suppress pro-Palestinian speech or refused to punish businesses that boycott Israel. Did FEMA actually make such an announcement?
Yeah, they did. There's no question about it. I saw it in print, and it was also discussed by a couple of administration uh, um, spokesmen, essentially confirming that this would be the case. And what's really scary about this is of course, this is directed at taking away freedom of speech rights from American citizens to benefit a foreign country which is carrying out a genocide. I mean, you can't get much lower than this. Here you're taking away money that these people that are in those situations of hurricanes and floods really need to survive, and you're stripping that money away from them. This is the as I read the or listened to the spokesman, this applies both to states and to municipalities. So if New York were to go this route in terms of saying we support basically people um, boycotting Israeli products if they choose to do that, and to be open about being willing to do that, and they are not being denied benefits by the state and shouldn't be denied benefits by the federal government. So this is what it's all about. It's our own people being punished to basically give a pass to another country that is clearly carrying out a war crime.
Has FEMA rescinded this decree?
Uh, no, as far as I know, there's been no movement on it. Obviously, it's been reported, not a whole lot, but it's around in the media, and so people are paying attention to it. And I received the when this happened. I think it was 2 days ago that it actually happened. I received a ton of emails from people saying, "I can't believe this. I mean, this is beyond all belief that the government would do this and do this in an open fashion to punish the American people on a constitutional right."
You have recently referred to the Netanyahu regime as Trump's masters. So who controls whom? Does Trump control Netanyahu, or do Netanyahu and company control Trump?
Well, I tend to think there's a little give and take, and I think that the inflexible part of Trump in dealing with Netanyahu is is due to his ego, and where he feels that he's being had by Netanyahu. We saw a little bit of that prior to the attacks that were made by the two of them on Iran, and there were some discussions going on where I think Trump did actually say something to the effect of, "I think I'm being had," and of course that was true. But I think when it comes down to the dominant side of the relationship, it's definitely Israel, and by Israel I mean beyond Netanyahu. I mean basically the Israel lobby consisting of both Zionist Christians and some Jews in the United States who basically have a lot of money, have a lot of political power, and Trump uh, often seems rather dumb about some of these issues, but I think he's very aware of this one, having received hundreds of millions of dollars from the Israel lobby in his last campaign.
I'm going to play a clip from Ehud Barak, himself a fanatic and no saint, but an ardent opponent of Netanyahu, a former prime minister who basically argues that Netanyahu manipulates Trump and his inner circle, and the control is by manipulation. Now, you can tell me after this of what manipulation consists. Is it coercion? Is it blackmail? Is it telling lies? Is it all of the above? But we have an AI translation, even though he says it in English. It's a very harsh Hebrew accent and difficult to understand. So Chris ran the AI. Chris, cut number 11.
Netanyahu manipulate the Trump and his inner circle and the rest of the world to believe that we were facing a binary choice. Either we capitulate Hamas, which is unacceptable, or we'll have to continue until the last, the total absolute victory, which is another lunatic vision. The reality is different. There is a solution from day one. Bring in kind of interior force, Emiratis, the Egyptians, Jordanians for a limited time, 18 or 24 months. Create a technocrat government in Gaza, Palestinian bureaucracy and building, gradually a security force. Only two conditions should be moved by Israel. Number one, not a single individual who participated in the massacre of October 7th or part of the armed branch of Hamas cannot serve in any organ of the new entity. Number two, Israel will withdraw only to the perimeter and will withdraw to the border only once all the pre-agreed security arrangement are set in. That's all. It's on the table for a year and a half. Netanyahu rejected it because it means that the Palestinians will be involved in that Israel will have to somehow negotiate starting a process toward the two-state solution, which is a necessity anyhow, and it's another illusion that we can avoid it for the longer term.
What do you think?
Well, I would agree with most of what he said. I think there are probably he laid out a program which I think is viable, but there are probably a number of other permutations of that one can conceive of that would also work. But the whole thing that he's seeing is that the killing all the Palestinians or driving them out is not a solution. And I think his comment about the Trump administration and much of Congress, of course, is correct. That somehow Netanyahu has manipulated the situation so these people are fully on board with him. Well, look at the crowd of congressmen who are over in Israel right now visiting illegal settlements, among other activities. So I believe it's kind of that way, and I'm becoming increasingly convinced that the blackmail aspect of this, in addition to the money aspect from the lobby, has something to do with it.
When you say blackmail, are you talking about the Epstein saga?
Yeah, precisely. I'm talking about that, and I'm talking about probably a lot of other stuff that Mossad and the Israeli government know about our elected officials.
Is it fair to say that when former Prime Minister Barak says that Netanyahu has manipulated Trump's inner circle, that manipulation consists of a variety of things, including blackmail, coercion, threats, and bribes?
Yeah, I think it could include all of the above, and it would be wise to be at least cognizant of the fact that it could be in that direction. I'm not saying it necessarily will be, and obviously blackmail can take all kinds of forms in terms of what level it's at and what kind of activity it's at. But the whole Epstein thing just smacks of a a procedure meant to create criminal activity, which was then being filmed and could theoretically be used on people that they wanted to influence. So this is, something to be considered, and more stuff that's coming out about Donald Trump's past life, his first wife, and their divorce, and these are court papers. Some of it is pretty astonishing.
I didn't know about the divorce from his first wife. What are those allegations? Do you know?
Well, her comments, or her, when she was debriefed on the situation for their divorce, describes her being beaten, describes her being raped, describes all kinds of abuse on the part of Donald Trump, who of course was having an affair with his second wife simultaneously. So it's a real sordid tale if it's all true. But this is what has been testified to in court.
She's now deceased, the first wife.
I'm
going to play a clip for you in which Trump is asked, "Can you see evidence of the genocide in Gaza?" You got to listen really carefully because he mumbles, "I don't," very softly, "I don't," and then rambles on into extraneous statements as he does so well. But my question to you will be, how can he not see evidence of genocide in Gaza? But let's listen first. It's very early in this clip. Chris, cut number 1.
They see evidence of a genocide in Gaza?
I don't think it's that. Look, they're in a war. Some horrible things happened on October 7th, as you know. It was a horrible, horrible thing. One of the worst I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of bad things since I'm president in terms of wars and potential wars. I mean, if you look at the one that we just stopped, they had thousands of people being dead already at the border between Thailand and Cambodia. Thousands of people. And I mean, I've seen some bad things, but that October 7th with Hamas was really, really bad.
So there's no explanation, and he does say at the beginning, in response to the question, "Can you see evidence of the genocide in Gaza?" He says, "I don't." I would imagine that his masters would be livid if he said yes.
And he doesn't even apply any equivalency. I mean, he says that the October 7th thing was so horrible and everything like that. Apparently, killing 1,000 Palestinian babies under the age of 1 year is something that doesn't bother him. I mean, let's have a little equivalency, at least if you're going to talk about how horrible war is, which I agree with.
But Phil, what you've just characterized doesn't bother any of those Mike Johnson-led Republicans who are kissing the Wailing Wall, literally as well as figuratively, as we speak.
Yeah, no, that's it. And also, of course, they a number of visitors recently, including Witkoff, have made guided tours of parts of Gaza that they've been allowed to see, and come back and said, "Oh no, nothing to see here, guys."
Here's Mike Huckabee, saying the same thing. Now, he, of course, is cut right from the mold of Mike Johnson and the Christian nationalist Republicans that are with him in Israel. This is August 3rd, so 3 days ago. Chris, cut number 8.
But what I had not had was the opportunity to talk to people who live there, who have gone through the war as citizens of Gaza. And that was the most enlightening, because what they really expressed to us was their utter exasperation with how Hamas has treated them as citizens, how they have treated their relatives, the people in their families, how they've murdered so many of them. And what they look for is an end to this, where Hamas is gone. They want no part of them. And they also mentioned they don't want any part of the PLO or Fatah either. They realize that their future is going to have to be something very different than what their past has been, and that I guess the sense of commitment to that was quite the surprise for me.
Who could he possibly have spoken to that did not complain about genocide, did not complain about starvation, did not complain about slaughtering babies and mothers and old ladies and old men?
Well, they were required to speak only about how much they hated Hamas and every other possible Palestinian leadership group. So these were people that were carefully coached, probably heavily rewarded, if they were indeed Palestinians. How would Huckabee know? So this is, and plus you could see there, he was guarded or escorted by Israeli soldiers. So this was a setup, and Huckabee is so stupid as to fall for that, as it seems the entire congressional delegation there right now is falling for the whole line. Well, they're right out of Trump's mold. Believe what you want to believe, say ridiculous things, and by tomorrow everybody will forget what you said.
Is Netanyahu's professed order, I don't know that it's being carried out or it's been approved, but he says he wants to do it. His chief of staff is saying he'll refuse to do it, the chief of the military, to invade and occupy Gaza. Is that an act of desperation on the part of Netanyahu?
Well, I would put it a little bit differently. It's certainly desperation in that Netanyahu has a requirement in his little black book, which is that he has to keep the war going to keep his own personal troubles with the judiciary in Israel kind of in the back seat. So he's got that going all the time. But I think at the same time, given the control that Netanyahu has over American politicians, American media, and particularly the president of the United States and those surrounding him, he believes he can get away with anything. And if he has to kill every Palestinian still in Gaza, now being herded together into kind of an enclave to the south of the strip, he'll do it, and he will do it without even looking twice at it. He was talking about last week about the starvation and everything going on. Oh, there's no starvation. This food is being stolen by Hamas. The guy is a liar. He's a snake. And the fact that he's gotten so far with the U.S. government, with the U.S. politicians, is a disgrace to us.
Well, let's play this, Chris. This is a clip of a technical person from Dell Computer talking about AI used to assist in the slaughter in Gaza.
So it's been long known that Dell is complicit in the occupation. The question of the AI-assisted targeting programs that the Israeli military uses, what we found through the documentation that we were able to obtain was that, in fact, Dell Technologies is also providing hardware that is used when running these AI programs. Now, your listeners may recall these are programs such as the Gospel, which provides infrastructural targets, including private residences, and Lavender, which generates the kill lists of Palestinians, which have been critiqued for being so broad as to be essentially arbitrary in their applications and helping the military minimize any kind of human oversight and maximize destruction and lethality of the attacks. But so again, what we found was that the actual hardware itself is an important element. And, fortunately, we were able to obtain that documentation and kind of continue to flesh out the image of just what tech complicity in military occupation and genocide looks like.
Well, this professor seems to have done his research. Does any of this surprise you that an American company, I mean, I'm speaking to you through a Dell computer now, that Dell would have accepted a fortune from the Mossad and from the IDF to show them how to focus on the people they want to murder?
Well, I have known for years that the high-tech sector is heavily represented with affiliates in Israel, and has been that way for a long time. And these applications are particularly relevant to military operations and to that sort of thing. I'm sure the U.S. government encourages these relationships and has no problem with them. And I'm sure the companies are well compensated and they have no problem with it. And it's just, why should anybody be surprised? This is normal. It's why the high-tech sector in the United States is loaded with former Israeli intelligence and military officers, especially in some of these positions where they get to screen the information that's going in and going out.
Is CIA on the ground in Gaza?
I don't know for a fact, and I would suspect yes. I would suspect that there are some people who are undercover and can pass for nationals of somewhere else, and I would think that's how they would run it.
Well, Phil, thank you very much. This is so depressing every time we talk about it. It's illuminating to hear your views, but it's sad. It doesn't seem like there's going to be an end. Unless somehow Donald Trump's mind is changed, then I don't think he gives a damn about slaughtered babies and women. There would have to be some political force to change his mind. This is not going to stop.
I don't think he has a mind to change. And let me just sort of briefly mention another story that's just surfaced where he is going to be running the team for Olympic security for the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028. Now he's going to still be in office, and here's the president of the United States running the team that's from the federal government that's doing or assisting in the security for these games. Now, in 1992, was head of the CIA team that was working with the Spanish for the Barcelona Olympics. And let me tell you, it required multiple meetings every day. And when you weren't meeting, you were on the phone. And it was an incredibly heavy duty job if you're serious about the security. Now, Donald Trump, first of all, knows nothing about security. I'm not even sure if he can spell the word. And he's just going to be using this as a channel to do a third run for president of the United States. I would put money on it right now.
Wow. Well, you heard it first here, everyone. We'll revisit this with Phil in 3 years. Phil, thank you very much. Thanks as always. A viewer writes, it's so hard to watch your show, Judge, because the news is so bad. The news is bad. The purpose of this show is to expose what the government is doing, even when the government is at its worst, which is almost always. Thanks, Phil. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week. I'll give you regards to Salenti, who worships the ground you walk on.
Thank you very much. And
you're welcome.
My regards.
Sure. All the best. All the best. Coming up tomorrow, Thursday, at 2 p.m, Colonel Lawrence Wilkerson. At 3 p.m, Professor John Mearsheimer. At 4 p.m, Colonel Douglas McGregor. Judge Napolitano for Judging Freedom.